Morgan, and today I'm going to do just a nice, fairly easygoing Sunday afternoon hairstyle. And first of all, I'm going to start by figuring out, okay, where do I want to part my hair? And then I'm going to start with that, and then I'm going to end up brushing it because right now it is it's a bit tangly. I am not feeling necessarily the best right now. So it needs a proper brushing. And I think that I'm going to start with let's do a twist today, I think. Because that's something a little bit looser and airier than a braided style would be, but at the same time, it's something that's out of the way and up. And I'd like something that's a little bit out of the way and up. And I'm going to continue, once I get to this part, I'm going to move my arms to the back to continue. And then, once I've got all the hair that I want into this section, I'm going to turn it into like a rope braid. So for a rope braid, I take, I'm twisting, and I guess two types of things at once. I can't quite remember the logistics of it. Right now I'm just remembering how it feels with my hands, and then I move it back to this side. So it's like I'm twisting, I'm twisting these ones this way, and then this, I don't remember if it's all one direction or one direction, another direction. I just remember what it feels like to do it with my hands. And then I think once I get to a point where it's like, whoopsies, this is splitting, then I guess I'll just try and weave it into the other, switch the sections up like I would when I do a normal. That doesn't work with rope braids. Okay. Apparently. Okay, or at least it doesn't work as well compared to with normal braids. So I guess what I'm going to do is once it reaches towards the end, I'm going to switch this into, I'm going to take, turn it into a 3-strand braid at the bottom for a little bit of extra, I guess, to keep it from coming undone as much. I forget how the logistics of rope braids work. I guess I'm just doing it based off of what feels right with my hands, because I know that there's a certain way you're supposed to do them, and I learned it when I was a teenager. Technically I probably learned that beforehand when I did when I tried to make rope one time, but I think I learned the technique for doing it on hair when I was a teenager. Okay, here you are. Let's see, do I want this one more time? Yeah, I'm using the really thin. Right now I'm using these really, really thin ends, which I feel like they don't have as much longevity / rewearability as the slightly bigger ones, because these ones tend to snap when I try and take them off of my hair. And then I'm gonna brush this section. I'm gonna pull up any extra hairs around the neck that are long and try and bring them all over here. I'm gonna start twisting, and there are multiple different ways that people can do twists. I'm just doing something that's not 100%, I'm not doing something 100% symmetrical and nice today. I'm just doing something a little bit looser, because I'm just today I'm not in the mood for something that's super put together. Like I want something that's up and out of the way and kind of like cute and maybe a little bit eerie rather than something that's like super put together and nice. Okay, and then check for any hairs along the neckline to bring in. And then let's just, and then I'm basically just going to twist this section into a rope braid as well. So this is, and I figure this is something that's a little bit different because it's not with the center part, so it's going to be a little bit non-symmetrical. So that's going to give it a different look than like a traditional, it's weird, it's going to be a little bit less put together, I think. Which is, I guess, the vibe that I'm going for today, or the aesthetic. Like, I just, yeah, okay. And then, yeah, I'm braiding the ends of the rope braid in like a traditional, like three-strand style of a braid, because I feel like oftentimes like this helps it not unravel for me. Maybe I'm just bad at doing rope braids because mine do tend to unravel. I'm guessing that mine are just not as, what's the word, maybe I'm not using the right amount of like tension versus slack. Okay. I'm gonna use another one of these really tiny hair ties. I also have like and then I accidentally flooshed that onto the bed somewhere. That's not gonna be fun to find. I have like two different types of poly bands. Like I have a like bigger one, and then I have like a tiny smaller one. Yeah, it really just depends what you prefer. But I do think like one of the main complaints I have about the smaller ones is that they tend to break when I try and take them off. So I feel like I get more use out of the slightly larger ones. But if I'm using them at the ends of a very small section of hair, sometimes the really tiny ones are just more convenient. Oh, let's just floof quite a bit. Okay. And then for the back, I think I'm gonna like rope twist it and then pin that into a bun. Okay, twisting. Then I'm just gonna start pinning around, and I typically work in like either a clockwise or counterclockwise direction, so I get all around the bun into a shape. And then I like doing it with like one hand, so that way like I have the other hand completely free to hold the style in place. And I personally like to keep my hairpins like on a plate so they're easy, or some sort of dish. It's just easier in my opinion to have them like all nicely out. I prefer not having to finagle them off of like a sheet of, like some hair ties or some hair accessories are kept on like a piece of paper or something, and I prefer getting my hair ties off of a dish instead of off of a paper. But sometimes if there's an area like towards the middle where I feel like, okay, this isn't quite as secure, like I'll try and add another pin a little bit more inwards compared to where I put the rest of the pins in. Okay, going a little bit more like this. Okay, and this feels pretty secure. It's a little bit of a low bun, which I think probably suits aesthetically. Here, I guess I'll turn around so you can see all of it. But yeah, I was gonna say, let me grab something really quickly. Where's this? Okay, I was going to show you that I typically keep like, oftentimes hair ties will come on something like this. I'm keeping some like, I guess they're alligator clips on something like this, but I personally prefer, sorry, not hair ties, like hair clips. I prefer to keep my bobby pins in something like a dish, because with this I can just pick it up with one hand. I'm better at doing this with my other hand, and then open it up like this and then pin it while my other hand is holding the hair up, and I feel like that's more convenient for me. And I'm gonna look at the sides here, like, this does leave some, I mean, this is leaving a couple of like little pieces like downwards here, and it's like, okay, that does give a little bit of face framing. If I was less lazy, I could curl these sections to make it look cuter and more intentional. Yeah, and this is quite, I'm looking at the way that this is, and it's like, okay, this doesn't look quite like a super intentionally stylistic, but at the same time, it's like, okay, this still keeps it out of my face in a way that's like different than the usual braided styles that I go with. So this is just like a Sunday afternoon hairstyle. So yeah, have a great day.